The story up until Kingdom Hearts 3 is very massive, and with the new game creeping up ever closer, I thought it would be a great idea to take a step back and go over the complete story that is Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is a collection of hearts and ultimately the source of light. Its counterpart, to keep it locked away from greedy fingers, was the X-Blade. In ancient times, one man called the Master of Masters studied the X-Blade and found a way to extract weapons from people's hearts in the image of the X-Blade, calling them Keyblades. His own Keyblade, being the most ancient one, as it was the first one to be made, received an eye from its master, the Gazing Eye. So wherever this Keyblade went, all that it witnesses, the master can see. This way, he foresaw a war that would destroy the world. He trained 6 apprentices, naming 5 of them foretellers to lead a specific union to protect the world from that darkness. He gave these 5 apprentices a Keyblade, a specific task, and a Tome of Prophecy, a tome that holds knowledge of the future. The 6th apprentice, Liu Shu, was given a different task. Liu Shu inherited the master's Keyblade and a large black box, which he could never ever open. His task was to roam the world with the box and Keyblade and pass down the items to his apprentice and his apprentices after that, so the master can witness all events through time. After assigning these tasks to his apprentices, the master vanished, leaving the foretellers with questions. Each of their tomes was missing a page, leading the foretellers to think there was a traitor amongst them. This pressure led to the group falling apart, seemingly the ultimate intention of the Master of Masters. One of the foretellers, Ava, wanted to preserve the light instead of fighting for it like the other foretellers. So she gathered strong Keyblade wielders and made a new group called the Dandelions. This group would eventually preserve the light through time and not join the fight that is to come, because soon after, the unions began to fight for control over the light, which led to an all-out war, the Keyblade War. This event caused Kingdom Hearts to show and the X-Blade to shatter. It shattered into 20 pieces, 7 of light and 13 of darkness. When the dust had settled, this fated place would become known as the Keyblade Graveyard. The Dandelions swore to protect the world from further destruction. Many years later, on an island called Destiny Islands, a young man called Xehanort had big dreams of visiting other worlds. He was approached by a man in a brown cloak, revealing himself as a being named Ansem, a time-traveling remnant of Xehanort's future self. Ansem granted young Xehanort the power to travel through time and gather vessels to store his heart into, so they can recreate the X-Blade and start another Keyblade War. Young Xehanort does this, and upon returning, loses his memory about all events, but his path is somehow etched into his heart. He has a vision, he has a goal, a desire to become a Keyblade Master. Young Xehanort travels to the land of departure and became an apprentice in order to become a Keyblade Master, together with a newly made friend, Ericus. However, the two of them share different views on the world. Ericus believes darkness should be eliminated and light prevail, while Xehanort believes the two sources of power should live in balance. He became obsessed with his balance and ultimately with the Keyblade War and the X-Blade. When both apprentices are masters and ages had passed, Xehanort took on his own apprentice called Ventus. Due to his path that was etched in his heart, his goal with Ventus was to make him his vessel. Ventus proved too weak for this purpose, so Xehanort decided to extract the darkness from Ventus's heart, shattering it in the process and creating a whole new being called Vanitas. This new being proved to be a better vessel for Xehanort's purposes. With Ventus's heart shattered and his life fading away, Xehanort decides to bring him to Destiny Islands to meet his end. A fitting way to go for his apprentice, since it's the place that started his own adventure. But unbeknownst to Xehanort, Ventus's heart was touched by that of a newly born child that moment, making Ventus's heart whole again, reviving him in the process. Xehanort decides to bring his former apprentice to Ericus, so he can be trained under him together with his new fellow apprentices, Terra and Aqua. After a couple of years, it was time for a Mark of Mastery exam, and Xehanort was invited to watch. During this exam, Xehanort tempered with the darkness to reveal Terra's deeply buried desires. Master Xehanort sees it fit to make a vessel out of Terra and starts to manipulate him into using the darkness. After the exam, the 3 friends had a falling out. Terra went after Master Xehanort, Ventus after Terra, and Aqua needed to find them both and bring them home. On Terra's adventure, he met a young Riku on the Destiny Islands. Seeing great potential in this young boy's heart, he performs the bequeathing. It's a ceremonial ritual that a master can perform in order to pass down the power of the Keyblade onto another soul. Meanwhile, in Radiant Garden, Aqua meets a young Kairi, who accidentally touched Aqua's Keyblade, in turn performing an accidental bequeathing. During these events, Ericus became aware of Xehanort's purpose with Ventus. Xehanort's plans to use Ventus's pure light and Vanitas' pure darkness to reforge the X-Blade. Ericus sees no other way than to eliminate Ventus. Driven by Xehanort's manipulation, Terra intervenes in Ventus and Ericus' fight, and to his regret, kills Master Ericus in battle. While instantly regretting his actions, Xehanort invites Terra to join him at the Keyblade Graveyard. It is there where Ventus, Aqua and Terra meet with Xehanort and Vanitas. Xehanort ultimately transfers his heart into Terra, making him his new vessel, while Vanitas fuses with Ventus to recreate the X-Blade. Due to this, Kingdom Hearts started to reappear, but luckily, Aqua was aided by another Keyblade wielder. Mickey Mouse came to her rescue and put a stop to Vanitas, shattering the incomplete X-Blade and stopping Kingdom Hearts from returning. Ventus' heart got lost due to this, and Aqua brought him to Mickey's master. Master Yen Sid, who lives in the mysterious tower, informs Aqua that Ventus is in a long-lost slumber, unable to recover until his heart returns. Remembering the last words Master Ericus spoke to Aqua, she returned to the land of departure with Ventus and hid him in the Chamber of Awakening, locking the world so no other man would be able to find it, turning the land of departure into Castle Oblivion. Ventus' heart, however, found its way to a familiar presence. The presence he felt when his heart was mended years ago. Sora, who aged a few years, sensed the presence of Ventus' lost heart and offered refuge in his own heart in order for him to heal. Willing to save her friend, Aqua went to face Terra, who was possessed by Xehanort. But in their battle, Terra resisted Master Xehanort, and in an attempt to get rid of Terra from his body completely, Xehanort tried to free Terra's heart from his body, erasing his memory in the process. Both falling into the realm of darkness, Aqua sacrificed herself in order to save Terra and was left alone in the realm of darkness. She has been roaming there for quite some time, but time does not flow at the same speed as in the realm of light. Terra's body was found by a man called Ansem the Wise, the ruler of Radiant Garden. He took Terra Xehanort under his banner and made him his apprentice. Xehanort was still recovering his memories with the help of Break, another apprentice to Ansem the Wise. With his path still etched into his heart, Xehanort felt an attraction to the darkness and wished to experiment with extracting darkness from people's hearts. Ansem the Wise forbade these actions, so Ansem's apprentices, Xehanort, Break, Dylan, Evan, Alias, and Dienzo staged a coup. They banished Ansem the Wise to the realm of darkness and executed their plan. They extracted the darkness from their hearts, creating Heartless and Nobodies. While the Heartless were the darkness from their hearts, Nobodies were the empty shell left behind. If a strong-willed character becomes a nobody, their forms remain. Xehanort's Heartless takes on the name of Ansem, while his Nobody takes on the name of Xemnas. Ansem will lead the Heartless to many worlds in order to swallow the world's hearts to create a different Kingdom Hearts, filled with the heart of all worlds. Xemnas will lead Organization 13, a band of nobodies with the purpose of making them all a vessel for Xehanort. Ansem the Wise, however, learns to control the darkness without taking himself over and escapes the realm of darkness. He takes refuge in Twilight Town, where he discards his name and adopts a new name, Diz, Darkness and Zero. He now dedicates his life to research the Heartless and Nobodies. Years later, when Sora was 14 years old, he and his friends, Riku and Kairi, wanted to leave their homeworld, Destiny Islands. While they were building a raft to set sail, Riku found another way to leave the islands. There was a secret place where the three of them would hang out and share secrets. This place had a door that leads to the realm of darkness. Riku opened this door and allowed the Heartless to invade, and the island to succumb to darkness. While Riku was accepting the darkness into his heart, Sora was trying to reach out to him and get him back. Showing Riku's Keyblade he acquired during his bequeathing to see the strength of Sora's heart and choosing him over Riku. With Riku lost to the darkness, equipped with his newly acquired Keyblade, Sora started looking for Kairi. He finds her in the secret place in front of the door, but before Sora could even reach out to her, the door busted open, destroying the islands in one giant explosion. During this event, Kairi lost her heart, but it found refuge in Sora's heart. Both Sora and Kairi went flying to other worlds. Sora woke up in a town called Traverse Town. He met with Donald and Goofy, who were instructed by their king, Mickey Mouse, to find the key while Mickey was off fighting the darkness. It so happened to be that Sora's Keyblade had the power to lock the world's hearts from the darkness, preventing them from being destroyed by the Heartless like his homeworld. So the trio joined up to do just that and find Riku, Kairi, and King Mickey in the process. During their adventures, they met an evil witch known as Maleficent. She was leading the Heartless to all worlds in an attempt to find 7 Princesses of Heart. It turned out that Ansem, Xehanort's Heartless, had instructed her to do this in order to forge a keyhole that leads to an artificial Kingdom Hearts. These 7 princesses are protected by the 7 lights that broke off the X-Blade. Riku was manipulated by Maleficent to join her Dark Crusade. As Riku found Kairi with her heart missing from her body, Maleficent promised Riku to help him find her heart again in return of his loyalty. The Ansem that is helping Maleficent is still that time-traveling remnant from ages ago. As he couldn't return or materialize, he had to wait. Seeing Riku open his heart to darkness, Ansem saw this as an opportunity to receive a new vessel. Sora, Donald, and Goofy eventually arrive at a castle called Hollow Bastion. It's the headquarters of Ansem and Maleficent and located in the Radiant Garden. They first met with Maleficent, which they defeated first when Riku unleashed her powers with this new Keyblade to unlock people's hearts. Riku, who revealed himself as Ansem, shows Kairi's motionless body, telling them Kairi is a Princess of Heart and that her heart is currently locked away within Sora. Sora sees no other way to release Kairi's heart but to unlock his heart with Riku's Keyblade, stabbing himself and releasing his and Kairi's hearts, but turning him into a Heartless in the process. With Kairi returned to the land of the living, she feels Sora's presence in the Heartless and uses her light to bring Sora back. With Kairi and Sora returned, Ansem retreated to the end of the world, a place where all fragments of worlds dominated by the Heartless gather. It is there where Sora confronts Ansem when he tries to open up Kingdom Hearts' door, thinking it would lead to ultimate darkness. But he was destroyed by it because Kingdom Hearts was actually the source of light. This released Riku from Ansem's grip, who found himself in the realm of darkness now. King Mickey was also in the realm of darkness as he was looking for a special Keyblade from the realm of darkness. He was aided by Aqua, who was locked in the realm of darkness for so long. King Mickey wanted to close Kingdom Hearts that Ansem had opened with the help of Riku and Aqua, but they were attacked by Heartless. Aqua had sacrificed herself again to save Mickey and Riku from a swarm of Heartless that was bound for them so they could help close the door to Kingdom Hearts. So together with Sora, Donald and Goofy, they closed the door, sealing Kingdom Hearts with Riku and King Mickey locked in the realm of darkness. This action, however, restored all worlds that were destroyed by the darkness, returning Kairi to Destiny Islands, but Sora promised her they would meet again. When Sora had released his heart in order to save Kairi, he had actually created 2 nobodies in the process. One nobody for Sora's heart and one for Kairi's. They are named Roxas and Emini. The organization that was being led by Xemnas were lurking in Castle Oblivion. They were looking for the Chamber of Waking, as Xemnas means to find it. While there, Namine was found and was held captive. Xemnas knew she was special because Namine has the power over Sora's heart. Meanwhile, Roxas was found in Twilight Town and recruited to wear the coat as one of the organization members. Roxas is Sora's nobody, so he is able to wield the Keyblade. But since Ventus's heart was also inhabiting Sora, he is also able to wield Ventus's Keyblade too. He was put under Axel's care, and together they needed to destroy the Heartless to release their hearts and send them to another artificial Kingdom Hearts. This Kingdom Hearts would be used to recreate their nobody hearts and become complete again. Along with Roxas, another member was introduced to the organization. Her name was Xion. She was also put under Axel's care, and together, the 3 of them grew close. Sora was still roaming the land in between with Donald and Goofy to find Riku and Mickey. They soon stumbled upon Castle Oblivion. The organization became aware of this and sent half of its members to the castle, including Axel. Xion and Roxas had to continue dispatching Heartless in the meantime. When Sora entered Castle Oblivion though, they soon started to forget all their memories. Marluxia, a member of the organization and leader of the pack in Castle Oblivion, told him it's the way of the castle, but in reality they were using Namine to erase Sora's memories and replace them with fake memories. Together with Larxene, Marluxia planned to use Sora as a puppet to overthrow the organization, but was eventually stopped by Sora. With Marluxia and Larxene defeated, Namine was freed and she agreed to return Sora's memories to him. But this meant for Sora to enter a year-long slumber in a memory pod. But by doing this, Sora wouldn't remember anything that had happened in Castle Oblivion. He would not remember Marluxia, Larxene, or even Namine. Meanwhile, Riku escaped the Realm of Darkness with the help of Mickey and also found his way to Castle Oblivion. He too stumbled upon various members of the organization, dispatching them in his tracks. He got to the memory pods with Namine and she offered Riku help to seal his darkness away. But he refused, as he wanted to find his own way. Riku then left with Mickey to find his way to Dawn while Sora sleeps. This sleep, however, made Roxas fall into a coma for several weeks, as the two of them are connected. During Roxas' slumber, Diz found his way to Castle Oblivion too, where he finds his sleeping Sora and Namine. He decides to bring them both to Twilight Town to oversee Sora's recovery. After a couple of weeks, Roxas awakens to the news of the eliminated members at Castle Oblivion, all except for Axel. After this, the three of them continued hanging out together, growing even closer. Due to Sora regaining his memories, Roxas began to experience his memories as well, dreaming about Kairi and Namine alike. He started to question his existence, and ultimately his presence in the organization. Meanwhile, Xion encountered Riku on a mission. He called her a sham because Riku knew she was a puppet created by Xemnas. A puppet with the sole purpose of absorbing the lost memories of Sora. Xion was created as a failsafe should Roxas fail the organization. Due to Xion absorbing Sora's memories, his memory reconstruction could never finish, so Riku urges Xion to go with him. With Xion gone, Roxas demands answers from Axel as he knew the truth. By understanding that Xion was a puppet, Roxas defected the organization despite Axel's warnings. Meanwhile, Xion met with Namine in Twilight Town. Namine explained to Xion that she needed to go to Sora in order for him to heal. But before she could, Axel intervened. Axel wanted to bring her back. He cherished their friendship far too much to give it up. Succeeding in bringing her back, Xemnas swiped Xion to reprogram her, to make her absorb Sora's memory even faster, making her even look like Sora. Roxas met with Xion in Twilight Town. Xion explained to Roxas what has to be done. Even though she was reprogrammed, she remembered who she is, what she needs to do. Tricking Roxas into battle and making him defeat her, she fades away into his arms, making him forget about her existence and returning to Sora. Not unlike how Xehanort's path was etched into his heart, Xion's friendship to Roxas was also etched into his, making him want to avenge a fallen friend. Roxas set off to the world that never was, the organization's homeworld, but was stopped by Riku. To restore Sora completely, Roxas was also necessary to rejoin him. Roxas overpowered Riku in that instant, but Riku was not willing to give up. Abandoning his way to Dawn, he accepts the darkness in his hearts to receive great power, overwhelming Roxas and winning the fight. Diz appeared at this moment to take Roxas and bring him to his old mansion in Twilight Town. Knowing full well the organization would not cease to look for Roxas, he creates a digital copy of Twilight Town and puts Roxas in there to keep him safe. In this digital landscape, Roxas was an ordinary boy living out the end of a normal summer vacation with his school buddies. But in there, Roxas still received memories from Sora. Eventually, the organization found where Roxas was hiding and sent Axel to retrieve him, but failed this time. Roxas also came in contact with Namine in a dream, which in turn connected his heart to Kairi's. Roxas began to understand he didn't belong there, that he was part of something else, part of someone else. This brought Roxas to Namine, who tells Roxas he needs to go to Sora, because he is part of him. Roxas remembered now that he was brought here by Diz and Riku, that Axel was actually his friend. Axel returned to Roxas and warns him he will need to eliminate him if Roxas does not comply. To Roxas' surprise, the Chelate came to his aid, and another one. Roxas defeats Axel, making him retreat, hoping they will meet again someday. Roxas moves onward and finds Sora sleeping in his pod. Accepting his destiny, he rejoins with Sora, making his summer vacation come to an end. Sora, finally whole again, wakes up with Donald and Goofy. They do not recall anything that happened, even their journal was wiped clean. They set off to see Yen Sid, who informs them the darkness was still not completely defeated. He explains the Heartless, Nobodies, and Organization 13 are causing trouble. Their journey takes them to Hollow Bastion, the former Radiant Garden. They find a revived Maleficent leading the Heartless, and Xemnas leading the Nobodies there. Meanwhile, Axel was making his way to Destiny Islands. Axel's goal was to find Roxas again. He knew Roxas was with Sora once more, so to get his best friend, he needed Kairi. He attempts to kidnap her, but was thwarted by a hooded Riku, sending her to Twilight Town. But Axel found her there too, and successfully captured her there. But Saïx, Axel's former best friend, takes her out of Axel's hands. Saïx wants to use Kairi to break Sora. Back in Radiant Garden, Sora had found Ansem the Wise's chambers. It held a secret room with Xehanort's computer with all kinds of information on the Heartless. Mickey found his way to the chambers as well, but the world was being attacked by a swarm of Heartless. Sora, Donald, Goofy and Mickey went to fight them and find Xemnas. Xemnas starts to taunt Mickey about the currently missing Riku, so Mickey went after him to find answers. Axel joined the scene and tried to help Sora by revealing the organization's secrets, but Saïx came into play and Axel fled. Saïx then proceeds to explain that he had been using Sora, making him slay all the Heartless to send the freed hearts to Kingdom Hearts. He showed that he could summon Heartless as well as Nobodies, just for this purpose. Beaten by Saïx, Sora wanted to give up, but was saved by Maleficent to their surprise. She held off the Nobodies and Saïx in order for Sora, Donald and Goofy to flee. She sent them to the Dark Realm, where Sora uses the Keyblade to make them escape to Twilight Town. In the old mansion in Twilight Town was a way to enter the organization's world, so Sora made his way through there but was ambushed by a horde of Nobodies. Luckily, Axel came to the rescue but sacrificed himself to destroy every last one of the Nobodies. As he was fading away, Axel tells Sora he wanted to see Roxas one more time, and that Sora made him feel the same way as Roxas did, as if he still had a heart. He apologized for kidnapping Kairi and telling him where to find her. With his last strength, he opened up a portal to the world that never was, so Sora could avenge his other half's best friend and save Kairi. Arriving there makes Roxas awaken within Sora's heart, and they have a little face-off in there. This battle made Roxas realize going back to Sora was the best choice. He could accept it now. Sora, Donald and Goofy could now go up to the castle and meet up with Mickey. Within the castle, Kairi was freed by Naminé. Together, they tried to flee but were stopped by Saïx. When he tried to grab them, they were saved by a cloaked Riku. With Sora making his way into the castle, they meet with Diz. He found a way to destroy this new artificial Kingdom Hearts with a machine he had built. Clearing the path for Diz to work out his plan, Sora fought his way through swarms of Heartless. He was finally able to reunite with both Riku and Kairi. Our band of brothers fought their way up, defeating the rest of the organization members along the way, including Saïx, leaving Xemnas as a sole loyal organization member. Diz, finally revealing himself as Ansem the Wise, started to fire up the machine to bring Kingdom Hearts down when Xemnas arrived. Ansem found the courage to admit his mistakes. He apologizes to Roxas, hoping it reaches him through Sora when the machine started to overload. Ansem sacrificed himself when the machine exploded, taking down Kingdom Hearts, but then Heartless started to pour out of Kingdom Hearts. This was Maleficent's time to shine. She held the Heartless at bay with her lackey Pete to give Sora a chance to reach the top of the castle. Confronted by Sora, Xemnas escaped through a door to his fortress. This created a window for the others to escape, but before they could, however, Roxas and Naminé reappear due to Sora and Kairi's reunion. They made peace with each other, allowing Kairi to escape through a corridor with Mickey, Donald and Goofy. Before Sora and Riku could join them, Xemnas appeared once more. The two of them fought together, combining their strength to defeat Xemnas once and for all. Our two heroes could barely escape to the Realm of Darkness, where they thought to be stuck in forever, when a door to light appeared. It was Kairi's calling that allowed both of them to return, sending them back to Destiny Islands, back to their friends, back home. Upon their return, Jiminy Cricket, the one who was responsible for recording their journey in their journal, was analyzing the journal from their first adventure. It was wiped clean after they had woken from that long slumber, and he wanted to know why. King Mickey had a device that could analyze the data into a datascape. This would allow them to uncover any secrets the book holds, including visiting worlds this journal had visited before. This analysis made them realize there are more people in need of saving. More people are tied to Sora's heart, as he is the key that connects everything. It was when Ansem the Wise was overlooking Sora's memory reconstruction as Diz that he had hid knowledge inside Sora's heart that connects him to everyone else, so that one day he might open the door and save him and the others. Mickey realizes his long-lost friends are in dire need of saving, Ventus, Aqua and Terra. Mickey sets off to meet his former master, Yen Sid. He tells Mickey that Ventus's heart is currently in the Chamber of Awakening, which is why Xemnas was so keen on finding it. Aqua is still stuck in the realm of darkness, and Terra was possessed by Xehanort. It's their goal to find them and save them. Meanwhile, Maleficent and Pete somehow found a way to enter the datascape too. Maleficent realizes that if a journal could be digitized and visited, other books could too. She remembers the legend of the Tome of Prophecy, and means to find it and replicate what Mickey did to the journal, so she can visit the contents of the Tome of Prophecy. Back at the mysterious tower, Yen Sid feels a terrible darkness. Now that Xehanort's Heartless and Nobody have been eliminated, Master Xehanort's original form can be reconstructed. With this terrible news, he asks Mickey to summon forth Riku and Sora to show him the Mark of Mastery. Back in Radiant Garden, Ansem the Wise's apprentices also receive their human form back after the demise of their Heartless and when their Nobodies got destroyed. Alias, Dylan, Evan, Ienzo, and Lee, Axel's human form, woke up in Ansem's study. To their surprise, two of their colleagues were still missing, Break and Aiza, Sayek's human form. When a person is returned to his human form, they return to the place where they lost their heart, so Aiza and Break should be here too. With that in mind, they went to search for them. They all still had their memories from when they were Nobodies. Lee specifically remembers his promise to Roxas to always bring him back, so he starts to search for his friend. In the meantime, Sora and Riku were brought to Yen Sid to start their Mark of Mastery exam. During their first journey, when they sealed the door to Kingdom Hearts and restored the worlds, some of those worlds did not reawaken and remained in a state of sleep. The goal of their Mark of Mastery exam was to travel to these worlds, unlock their keyholes, and reawaken the worlds. By overcoming this feat, they will be named Keyblade Masters and unlock the power to wake sleeping hearts, a power necessary in the coming battle with Xehanort. To enter the sleeping realm, they have to be sent back in time to Destiny Islands. Sora dives into the world's dreams, and Riku dives into Sora's dreams, making him become Sora's Dream Eater to protect him against nightmares. They both need to visit 7 worlds to unlock their keyholes and awaken the worlds. Maleficent made a move on King Mickey by taking Queen Minnie as prisoner. She demands the technology of the datascape to replicate what they did to the journals. Upon Mickey's refusal, Maleficent wanted to use force but was stopped by Lee. He saved the day and pushed Maleficent and Pete back. Lee now asked for a favor in return and wants to meet Yen Sid. He intends to receive the ability to wield a Keyblade. It's not an easy path, but Lee accepts and starts his training with Merlin. In the Sleeping Realm, Riku and Sora encountered Xehanort's Nobody and Heartless accompanied by a young man. It was the time-traveling young Xehanort that arrived in this dimension to recruit his new vessels. He had already managed to grab a hold of Ansem and Xemnas. With all the keyholes now sealed, Riku and Sora's task was complete, but they weren't sent back home. Due to young Xehanort's intrusion in the Mark of Mastery exam, they managed to keep Sora there and transport him to the world that never was. Sora encounters Xigbar there, Break's Nobody. Together with the young Xehanort, they reveal Xehanort's time-traveling scheme and send Sora into an even deeper sleep. While falling deeper into his slumber, Sora receives visions of Naminé, Xion, and Roxas. He even sees Terra, Aqua, and Ventus, all remnants of the connections to his heart. Young Xehanort explains to Sora why he was time traveling, to gather incarnations of himself and vessels to store Xehanort's heart into. This was the original purpose of Organization 13, but due to some members like Roxas and Axel, that plan eventually failed because they were able to grow hearts of their own. So by gathering incarnations of himself through time, he could eventually obtain 13 pieces of himself and achieve his goal. Members like Xigbar and Saïx were already half Xehanort, as they received a piece of Xehanort's heart. They wanted Sora as another vessel, so Xemnas attempted to turn him, but Sora resisted, making him fall into a comatose state, falling deeper and deeper into darkness. Since Sora came to Ventus's aid when he needed him, Ventus now came to Sora's aid and enveloped his heart with his Keyblade armor, protecting him against the darkness. As Riku is Sora's Dream Eater, he too was stuck in the world that never was. He finds Sora's unconscious body, when suddenly a shadow appears. Since Riku is Sora's Dream Eater, a nightmare of equal value exists. Riku needed to defeat his nightmare to make sure Sora stays safe. As he triumphed over this battle, Riku found himself in a throne room with 13 seats, with Sora sitting on one of them. Xehanort's Heartless, Ansem, tries to possess Riku once more like he did a year ago. But Riku's heart became resistant to the dark, denying Xehanort another vessel. At that moment, more members appeared in the throne room. Young Xehanort entered the scene and explained they were all incarnations and vessels. With Master Xehanort about to be revived, they revealed Sora was the final member to be turned. King Mickey now entered the scene to save Riku but was stopped by young Xehanort. Due to Master Xehanort's revival, Young Xehanort was now able to wield the Keyblade and battle Riku. Riku was victorious, but it didn't stop Master Xehanort's survival. Master Xehanort explains his ultimate goal, to have 13 of his darknesses battle 7 pure lights to recreate the X-Blade and start another Keyblade War. When Xehanort attempts to place a piece of his heart into Sora, Lee swooped in to save the day and block Xehanort's attack. But it was Saïx who started to retaliate. Donald and Goofy also came to our hero's rescue. Realizing their time was up, Xehanort retreats with his vessels, sending them back to their respective times. Xehanort says this is only a setback. Their battle is destined to happen and will happen soon enough. Back in Yensid's tower, Riku needed to use his power of waking he obtained through the exam to wake Sora's sleeping heart. In there, he had to fight Ventus's armor in order to get Sora's heart out. While still in Sora's heart, Riku finds himself on Destiny Islands, where he meets Ansem the Wise. He explains that he was able to be here because he stored his data into Sora's heart earlier. Ansem tells Riku that Sora is a key that connects everything. Sora will be able to bring back those who are lost. He sends Riku back to the Realm of Light, where Sora was reawakened. Yensid now reveals the results of the Mark of Mastery exam. When they both performed commendably, Riku showed his resistance to the darkness while Sora had succumbed to it, naming Riku a Keyblade Master. A jealous Lee tells Riku he will be the next master, when he summons his own Keyblade to the surprise of everyone else. Our heroes conclude that Xehanort intends to gather the 7 Princesses of Heart again, so they need 7 Guardians to protect them. Riku returned to Yensid with a guest. Kairi was to become a Guardian of Light too. In order to protect the princesses, they need to rescue Aqua, Terra and Ventus. Mickey knows the whereabouts of Aqua as he saw her last in the Realm of Darkness, when she sacrificed herself to save Mickey and Riku to close the door to Kingdom Hearts. So Mickey and Riku receive garments to protect themselves against the darkness and set off to find Aqua. Yensid informs Sora that he was stripped off his powers due to falling into darkness when he almost became a vessel to Xehanort. Sora, Donald and Goofy go to reacquire the power to awaken a heart, find Ventus and save him. In order for them to start their journey, they must visit a hero that also had to find his way from zero to hero. With the phrase, "May your heart be your guiding key," Sora sets course to Hercules at the Olympus Coliseum. This will lead to Kingdom Hearts 3. We will find out what the black box holds, what Maleficent plans to do with the Tome of Prophecy and the Datascape, if Organization 13 will prevail, if Sora will be able to find Roxas and Ventus, if Mickey and Riku can save Aqua. All that on January 29, 2019. I do hope this video was helpful to you in terms of summarization of the complete story. Should you have any speculation on stuff happening in Kingdom Hearts 3, feel free to share it in the comment section below, as I will be there like always. Until the next time, stay safe and may your heart be your guiding key.